Another day, another story. The story of the United Nations, UN, is one of international cooperation, diplomacy, and efforts to maintain peace and promote global development. The UN was founded in the aftermath of World War II as a response to the horrors of the war and a desire to prevent such devastation from occurring again. Here's a comprehensive overview of its history. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Background. World War II, 1939-1945, was a global conflict that led to immense destruction and loss of life. As the war came to an end, the world recognized the need for a new international organization that could help prevent future conflicts, promote international cooperation, and address pressing global issues. Founding. The United Nations was officially established on October 24, 1945, following the conclusion of the United Nations Conference on International Organization, also known as the San Francisco Conference. Representatives from 50 nations attended the conference and drafted the United Nations Charter, which outlined the organization's goals and principles. Key objectives. The UN's primary objectives, as outlined in its charter, include maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations, promoting social progress, and fostering better living standards and human rights for all. Structure. The UN is composed of various bodies and agencies, each with specific responsibilities. The main bodies are General Assembly. Comprising all UN member states, the General Assembly is a forum for member states to discuss and make recommendations on international issues. Each member has one vote, and decisions on certain matters are made by a 2/3 majority. Security Council. Responsible for maintaining international peace and security, the Security Council has 15 members, including 5 permanent members, China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, with veto power, and 10 non-permanent members elected for 2-year terms. International Court of Justice. The principal judicial organ of the UN, the ICJ settles legal disputes between states and provides advisory opinions on international legal issues. Secretariat. The administrative arm of the UN, headed by the Secretary-General. It carries out day-to-day operations, implements decisions, and manages UN programs and activities. Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, responsible for promoting international economic and social cooperation and development. UN specialized agencies. These are autonomous organizations within the UN system that focus on specific areas such as health, WHO, education, UNESCO, and labor, ILO. Achievements. Peacekeeping. One of the UN's most notable roles has been in peacekeeping operations. It has deployed troops and observers to conflict zones to help maintain peace, monitor ceasefires, and support the political process. Human rights. The UN has played a crucial role in the development and promotion of human rights standards through documents like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Development. The UN has worked to promote global development through initiatives like the Millennium Development Goals and the Sustainable Development Goals, addressing issues such as poverty, health, education, and environmental sustainability. Challenges. Throughout its history, the UN has faced challenges in fulfilling its mission due to issues like conflicting national interests, budget constraints, and political disagreements among member states. The Security Council's veto power has sometimes hindered decisive action on critical issues. Ongoing work. As of my last update in September 2021, the UN continues to work on various global challenges, including climate change, conflict resolution, humanitarian aid, and poverty reduction. The United Nations remains a critical forum for international dialogue and cooperation, with its success contingent on the willingness of member states to work together for the common good and uphold the principles enshrined in its charter. For the most up-to-date information, please refer to current sources. 1. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. After the horrors of World War II, the United Nations recognized the need to establish a set of universal human rights to prevent future atrocities. In 1948, the UN adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a groundbreaking document that outlines fundamental human rights and freedoms. This story could focus on the drafting process, the significance of the declaration, and its ongoing impact on shaping international law and norms. 2. Peacekeeping in the Balkans. During the 1990s, violent conflicts erupted in the Balkans following the breakup of Yugoslavia. The United Nations deployed peacekeeping forces to the region to help stabilize the situation and facilitate peace negotiations. This story could delve into the challenges faced by UN peacekeepers, the complexities of the conflict, and the lessons learned from this experience. 3. The Oil for Food Program. In the 1990s and early 2000s, the UN implemented the Oil for Food program in Iraq, allowing the country to sell oil to fund humanitarian goods for its people while under sanctions. This story could explore the controversies and allegations of corruption surrounding the program, highlighting the difficulties of balancing humanitarian aid with political considerations. 4. The Responsibility to Protect, R2P. The concept of the Responsibility to Protect, R2P, emerged in the early 2000s, suggesting that the international community has a responsibility to intervene if a government fails to protect its citizens from mass atrocities. This story could discuss the development of the R2P principle, its application in various conflicts, and debates about when and how to intervene to prevent genocide and crimes against humanity. 5. Climate change and sustainable development goals. In recent years, the UN has been at the forefront of addressing climate change and promoting sustainable development through initiatives such as the Paris Agreement and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. This story could focus on the UN's efforts to bring together nations to combat climate change, foster environmental protection, and advance global development goals. 6. Challenges of UN reform. The United Nations has faced ongoing debates about reform to make its structures more representative and effective. This story could explore the tensions between the organization's major powers, efforts to expand the Security Council, and proposals to enhance the UN's ability to respond to emerging global challenges. 7. Ebola crisis response. When the Ebola virus outbreak struck West Africa in 2014, the UN played a critical role in coordinating international aid efforts and mobilizing resources to contain the disease. This story could highlight the collaboration between the UN, governments, and non-governmental organizations in responding to a public health emergency. These stories offer glimpses into the multifaceted nature of the United Nations work, showcasing its successes, challenges, and ongoing efforts to promote global peace, development, and cooperation. 8. The story of a refugee's journey. Imagine following the journey of a refugee who escapes conflict in their homeland and seeks safety in a foreign country with the assistance of the United Nations. This story could begin by detailing the conditions that led to the conflict and displacement, the challenges the refugee faces during their journey, and the crucial role the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, plays in providing protection, shelter, and assistance to them. As the refugee arrives in a new country, the story could highlight the UN's efforts to help them integrate into the local community, access education and healthcare. It could also showcase the collaboration between the UNHCR, host governments, and non-governmental organizations to ensure the refugees' well-being and eventual self-sufficiency. This story would not only emphasize the humanitarian aspect of the UN's work but also shed light on the complex challenges faced by refugees and the ways in which the United Nations strives to uphold the rights and dignity of those who have been forcibly displaced. 9. Cultural exchange through Model UN. In a high school located in a diverse neighborhood, students from various backgrounds come together to participate in a Model United Nations Moon Club. The story could follow a group of students as they prepare for a simulation of a UN General Assembly session. Each student takes on the role of a different country's delegate, researching their country's position on global issues. As the students engage in passionate debates, negotiate resolutions, and form alliances, the story could emphasize how Moon promotes cultural exchange, empathy, and diplomacy among young minds. The students not only learn about international relations but also discover the challenges and complexities of finding common ground among nations with differing perspectives. This story would highlight the UN's influence beyond official diplomatic circles, showcasing its role in fostering understanding and collaboration among the next generation of global citizens. 10. Aiding a post-disaster nation. In a fictional island nation named Solara, a devastating natural disaster strikes, leaving the country in ruins and its people struggling to survive. The story follows a UN emergency response team that rushes to Solara to provide immediate relief. The team consists of experts in disaster response, medical aid, and logistics. The narrative could explore the challenges faced by the UN team as they coordinate with local authorities, assess the needs of the affected population, and establish temporary shelters and medical facilities. Amid logistical difficulties, language barriers, and emotional exhaustion, the UN team demonstrates resilience and determination to provide essential aid. As days turn into weeks, the story could shift focus to the long-term efforts of the UN in helping Solara rebuild its infrastructure, restore essential services, and create a sustainable recovery plan. Through the lens of this story, readers can witness the UN's commitment to humanitarian assistance and the positive impact it can have on communities in times of crisis. This story not only underscores the UN's role in disaster response but also portrays the dedication and humanity of the individuals who work tirelessly to alleviate suffering and support recovery. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.